What is going on, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. I am here with my student Pierre. He is 19 years old. He just reached $10,000 per month with YouTube automation. This guy beat all the odds. When he was 12 years old, he had cancer. And at 18 years old, he decided to get started. And I remember when he first joined the coaching call, and he showed up and he wanted to build something great. And here he is a few months later, growing his channel to where it is today. So I just want to bring him onto this call to share his story, share his background, overcoming everything and getting to where he is today. Pierre, how are you feeling so far, man?
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, hi. I'm feeling great, man. I mean, this is the most comfortable I've felt in my life so far, obviously. Because the past hasn't been so great, but now I feel fantastic, and it's opened up so many doors like that I never thought, like so many options and things I'm thinking about.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy that, at 12 years old, you were battling with a disease that is life-threatening. How has that affected you into who you are today and getting started with online business? Because
And it kind of just made me realize that in life, nothing good comes for free, and there's a lot of stuff that bad stuff that's going to come your way,
wow.
and you just gotta go out and get it a little bit. So I think that pushed me, and then I found YouTube, and I was like, well, this is the path. I just need to pave my way.
That's insane. And what made you decide to not go to college? Right after high school, from what you tell me, is when you went all in into business, into YouTube. Well, what was that decision in your head that made you say, "Hey, screw college, I want to do this"?
I mean, I just felt it like deep down, like I knew that this could work, but I also knew that like to make it work, you can't just half-ass it. You have to go for it. So I told myself that it's worth it. I mean, I've seen the results of all your other students.
Yeah.
So I said, if I make this work, it's going to be life changing. Let's make it work, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. And for you to be able to get to the point that you are right now, making $10,000 USD, it's insane at 19 years old. So first off, I'm super proud of you. I'm super proud of the journey that you've come along. I didn't even know, when you were 12 years old, you dealt with all the things that you have. So it makes your story and also your success that much more rewarding. So it's freaking awesome, man. And my question for you is like, what motivated you to reach out to us in the first place to get started with YouTube automation to build a business online?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I had this fire in my belly, right? So from a young age, but I never really knew, I never really had the tools or any sense of direction. So I think I came across your Instagram at some point, and I remember I saw these posts, and then I followed you for a while, and then I realized, okay, this guy is talking about this YouTube, and I did a lot of research in the YouTube space, and I saw you come up in podcasts, etc. And I was like, okay, this seems legit. This seems like an actual thing. I mean, don't take anything for face value, but if you dig into it and it seems legit, then So I saw it and I was like, okay, well, this is what I've been looking for. I've been looking for something to bite my teeth into a little bit, and so I thought YouTube automation would be how I do that.
Okay, that's awesome. And what made you want to reach out to us out of all the people out there? I mean, there's a lot of other YouTube automation coaches out there. Why choose us?
I mean, like I said, I did a lot of research in the space. But
Mm,
the thing that kept coming up was that the program was a lot more, your program was a lot more, how do I say, like holding your hand, kind
mm,
of like just really guiding you through it. Because there's a lot of information on the internet and in courses everywhere. Sometimes what you want is you just want some like real proper guidance. And that's what I was looking for. I was like, I've got this motivation, but I don't know what I'm doing. I was only like 17 when I started. I was like, I want like someone to really tell me what I need to do.
mm.
And that's what it provided.
That's awesome. And did you have any like initial apprehensions or fears? I mean, you know, across online, whenever they're strangers, you don't know whether or not this person's a scam or whether this person's legit. I'm sure you had those initial fears, and did you have anything along those lines or anything outside of that?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, because I'm very thorough. So like, once I looked you up and I looked everything up and down, I was like, okay, this guy, like he seems the real deal. But obviously, I was only 17 at the time, and I was still in school, and my parents, they had one look at the course that I was trying to do, and they were like, absolutely not, because obviously they didn't know, right? Um, but I think because I only joined the program a few months ago after having found it many months ago. But I think what the turning point was that I'd been following you for a year. You kept coming up. I kept telling my parents about it, and eventually they were like, "Okay, this is trustworthy. This is real. Go for it."
Mhm. So what was the thing that clicked in your parents' head that made them say, hey, you can't do this to, okay, go ahead and rock and roll. You have my full support.
Uh, I think it was just my determination. Like literally, I'd been following you for a year,
Yeah.
and even after a year, I felt the exact same way I did a year ago.
Mm,
Like I wanted to dive into something. Your course seemed like the right option. 1 year later, it still seemed like the right option. It
mm,
still seemed like the most kind of supportive environment that will hold your hand through the whole process. And ultimately, that's what I wanted.
mm. That's awesome. And here you are today, at
Exactly.
17 years old, making more income than you ever made. And this is only the start. Think about where you're going to be at 25, 30 years old. So I'm very, very excited for the road ahead of you, brother. And, what would you tell yourself knowing what you know about the opportunity, the program, back then, you know, the Pierre that uh, didn't know much, 17 years old, just getting started.
I'd say to him that the idea is right, the spirit is right. You need that. You need to be eager. You need to want the success, but also you need to be ready to put in the work because the course gives you all the tools you need. Uh, but it doesn't do the work for you. You got to go and do the work. You got to put in the research. And if you're ready to do that, I have no doubt that you'll have success. Um, but you just have to be ready to do the work. So I think maybe when I started, I was like, okay, well, this is a lot. Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I try drop shipping. Maybe I try this. Maybe I try that. But just be persistent, work hard, and you'll get there.
100%. And I'm sure along the way you dealt with a lot of different health issues in your life, and you have different roadblocks, different challenges that a normal person wouldn't have, at your age, right? And so a lot of times people out there have excuses. Oh, I have this, or I don't have enough time. Oh, I'm too tired, or this. And yet here you are, despite having all the challenges that you've gone through, get to your current position. So what would you say to those people out there that are making those excuses, that are saying that they can't do it?
I mean, this is a really good question because I think throughout, like you said, my unique journey in and out of hospitals, dealing with all these things, my perspective on life changed. It made me realize that as horrible as my experience was, like you said, everyone has these problems and things that take them away and whatever. They lose a parent, they lose a sibling, or whatever. Um, but it made me realize that like everyone has these pain points, but these should be your motivations to go for it,
Mm,
because it's just like nothing good will come unless you kind of you go for it, you take it, because all these bad things keep coming our way. Um, these shouldn't be excuses, these should be motivation, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, 100%, 100%. You know, like a lot of times people have terrible stuff that happened to them, And a lot of times it's very easy to look at it as, oh man, why is this happening to me? You know,
Mm.
why is this happening to me? Why this? Why that? And there's been a lot of terrible things that have happened in my life as well. You know, my mom, we lost every bit of our money um, when I was 18 years old, and I was sleeping on a couch. And during that time, like I was blaming the world. I was blaming situations outside of myself. I'm like, why am I the one that has to deal with this? And one thing that I had to come to terms with is everything happens not against me, but for me. You know, it sets me up for something greater. And if it wasn't for all that pain that I went through and all that struggle, I wouldn't have the motivation today to do what I do, to wake up every single day with a burning fire to win in the game of business. And I'm sure it's the same for you. You know, for you, 12 years old, having gone through all that, the reason why you have this burning fire inside of you, correct me if I'm wrong, is because you went through life-threatening situation where you were like realized life is really short, right?
100%.
I got to make something of myself, right? If I'm going to live this life, I got to live the best life possible rather than just living a mediocre life going to the 9 to 5, right?
Exactly. I
Right.
mean, I feel like everyone has their pains in some sort of way, but like they shouldn't see it. I mean, they see it how they see it, but it's a superpower, you know. I mean, you've been through so much that you just yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, exactly. I think you couldn't have said it better, to be honest, man. I mean, that's just exactly how it is.
100%. It is always a setup and not a setback. So
Mm.
my question for you is like, I mean, you're 19 years old. You're super young. I still remember when I was 19 years old and, seeing my first bit of success in my life, growing and it felt ecstatic. How do you feel right now after accomplishing what you accomplished in such a short period of time? And where do you see yourself in the future, man?
I feel fantastic, to be honest. Like I was saying at the start of the call, it's opened a lot of doors. Like I'm thinking about things that maybe I wouldn't have thought about, maybe getting myself a car, maybe saving up for X, Y, and Z. It's a lot of options are opening up for me. And honestly, more than ecstatic or, overjoyed, or just wanting to party all the time, I just feel relaxed, I just feel comfortable because I feel like, you know, I set my mind to something, I had a dream, and I went out there and I made it happen. So I just feel like some sort of inner peace, you know?
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm
Yeah.
super proud of you. I'm sure your parents are super proud of you. How do you, does your parents even know that you cross these goals, or have you yet to tell them?
I mean, they ask on occasion, but I mean, the whole kind of journey, they didn't really trust. But after I started making money, they saw the channel, they saw the subscribers, they saw videos getting 1 million views or whatever, and then they started to think, okay, maybe he was right about this, you know?
Wow,
Yeah.
that is awesome. So your parents still don't know how much you make. Like they just see the subscribers and the view count.
Yeah, I mean, if they ask me, I give them, I'll talk to them about it, but it's not something that they don't ask the specifics, they just see that I'm doing well, and they're happy.
That's freaking awesome, man. I think that's the most a parent can ever ask for is seeing like, their children succeed. And here's the deal, like I know a lot of young kids just like you, where their parents initially didn't support them, yet the determination that they have was so strong that they still made it happen and show their parents what they're made of. And
Mm.
exactly that. So I'm super proud of you, man. And you have such a long future ahead of you. For the person that's watching this right now, maybe the same position that you were previously, maybe with health, different health issues, or maybe with different obstacles in their life that they feel like stops them from achieving something great, or maybe someone who's young, who has parents that might not necessarily believe in certain things that they want to accomplish. What are your words of advice or encouragement to offer them as they begin their journey into online business and YouTube automation?
I mean, I'd say that, um, everything, like this is my favorite quote, is nothing good comes easy, And I think if you just tell yourself that, for 6 months or for however long, you're just gonna do this thing, you're gonna commit 100% to it, um, then I think you can do great things. You just need to honestly just have a conversation with yourself,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah,
because everyone have doubts. I was super scared when I started this. So like, what am I doing? I'm 17, and I'm sure I mean, look at you now in your New York apartment, but I'm sure you were scared at the start, man,
absolutely.
as well. And, I think you need to have a conversation with yourself, is it worth it? And, it is worth it, so you need to make yourself understand that and be prepared to commit, put in the work, and then the rest is history, man. The rest will happen.
Absolutely. Dude, your story is freaking amazing. I can only imagine where you're going to be going in the future. This is only going to be the start. I mean, you've crossed $10,000 per month at the age of 19 years old. I can only imagine we're going to be a few years from now, 6 years, 6 months from now, even. Like, it's only going to be up from here. So, are there any last words that you have for the people that are watching this to help them win in this game we call life?
I'd say, just do your research, but trust your gut. If it feels right, it probably is. But don't do anything without making sure first. Like me, I felt like diving into YouTube with Paul's course was right. But then I followed him for a long time, followed him for a year, and it still felt right. And then it was an educated decision as well. Follow your gut, but do your research.
Awesome. Awesome. Guys, you heard it here first from my student from 12 years old, dealing with all the problems that he has to where he is right now. He's completely changed his life. His parents didn't believe him originally, but now he's absolutely crushing it and he has a long future ahead of him. And it's because he decided to get started, to take action and do something about it. So, congratulations, Pierre, and really, really excited to have you on here. Thank you
Thank
so
you, Paul. Thank you.